And we will get started. Great. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Today we are going to start in a child's pose. So having our hands out nice and spread long in the front. You can have your knees together, or if you would prefer a wide-legged child's pose, that's also available for you today. And so we're just going to start out by allowing our forehead as well as our forearms to rest down on the mat. We'll eventually come to a more active position. But in this place here, allow yourself to start to listen to your breath. Hopefully it's available to you and it's something that you can find nourishing. On your next inhale, think of sending that breath down into your lower back and your hips, really allowing those heavy bones to ground down into the earth. Exhaling up through the spine, up through the neck, sending out all of which no longer serves you. And on your next inhale, start to tent your fingers, so that will bring your forearms up off of the mat. And then start to actually walk back in the same space though. Pretend like your hands are those little ants and they're marching. So maybe you lift them up a tiny bit, sending some motion, starting to warm up throughout the wrist, the forearms, and then eventually coming into the shoulders. Let's find a point of stillness with those marching ant fingertips. And once again, start to send that breath down into your hip joints. Maybe you'll rock back and forth here with your hips, with your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, let's bring our hands back fully, starting to roll up our spine one vertebrae at a time, bringing our head to stack over top of our body, imagining that there's a string pulling up through the crown of your head. You're sitting nice and tall. And if you had your legs in a wide-legged pose, feel free to bring them back together or come to a comfortable seat. If it's available for you this morning, go ahead and close your eyes or allow them to have a soft gaze out in front of you. And we're going to inhale our arms up overhead and exhale, twisting open to the right. And then inhale, bringing them back up overhead, twisting to the left. And continue like that at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you hang out on one side, do a little shimmy, bring it back up to the top, and exhale, take it to the other side. Maybe do a little shimmy here. Next time you come through center, let's meet with our hands at the top, interlacing them and flipping our palms to the ceiling. Imagining as if you're growing taller on that left side, starting to lean towards the right, and then come back to center, leveling out. And then take it over, stretching throughout the right side, leaning to the left. And then take it back to center, exhaling as you bring your hands down. And then we're going to take some shoulder shrugs. So bring your shoulders up on the inhale, close to the ears. And then as you come back and down, exhale that out. Inhale Inhale, up. Exhale, back and down. Couple more like that. Nice job. Let's reverse that. So inhale, bringing your shoulders from the back and up. Exhaling as they fall forward and down. If you are seated in a cross-legged position, I encourage you to switch the crossing of your legs. So that way nothing falls asleep. You get a nice stretch on both sides. And then come back to center the next time you're done there. And slowly take your right ear to your right shoulder, stretching out through the left side of your neck, extending that left arm out. And then inhale, bring that hand up. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale as you bring it up. Exhale as you bring it down. I like these new camera angles you guys got going on. I can see really well. Nice. And next time you reach the bottom, allow your hand to rest there. And then on your next inhale, bring your neck back up to center. And then take it over, left ear to left shoulder, stretching out through the right side. Taking that right arm out. And inhale as you bring it up, lifting, stretching out through all of that right side body. And then exhale as it's focusing on the neck. Continue like that. Finding that breath pattern and movement that works for you this afternoon. One more, lifting up. And exhale, lowering down. We're going to come into a cat-cow. If you would prefer to stay in that seated position, you can always do the seated version. But for everyone else, if you'd like to come onto all fours in that tabletop position, have a nice flat back. Our wrists are stacked over our shoulders, our knees over our hips. And we're gonna inhale as we look up, opening through the chest, sending the booty to the air. And exhale as we round our chin, stretching out through the back body, really pressing away from the earth with our palms and the tops of our feet. And then inhale as we come back into that front body, opening our chin, our chest, and our booty to the air. Exhale as you press away from the earth, sending that stretch into the back body. And for these next couple, feel free to incorporate any additional movement and whatever pace feels good for your body. Maybe you'll rock back and forth, imagining that you're a dog wagging the tail. And as always, I encourage you to consider flipping one wrist upside down, rocking back and forth, sending that stretch across the top of the forearm here. It's a point that we don't realize holds a lot of tension, and some of us spending too much time texting or on the computer, these muscles can get really tight. And then they can cause injury. They can, get worn out from overwork, and then oftentimes can develop later in life into carpal tunnel. So stretching it out here should feel really good. And then whenever you're at a point that you feel comfortable, come back to that flat back and extend the left foot back and the right arm up in front, lifting that left leg. The toe is pointed down, coming into our bird dog position. And then on your next inhale, bring that knee into the nose, the arm holding the knee. And exhale as you extend out and back. Inhale as you round, bringing the knee to the nose. Exhale as you extend out and back. Do that 2 more times at your own pace. Starting to engage through the abs here. And then when you finish your second one, come down into our tabletop position. Take that right arm up into the air. And then on your exhale, send it through, threading that needle as it allows itself to fall underneath the left elbow. Your cheek or forehead should be pressed down into the earth if that's available. If not, feel free to grab a pillow or a blanket so that you can make sure you make contact. Breathing here, sending breath into the back body. Take some time to notice your right top of foot. Make sure that it's pressing down into the earth. That'll help to enhance the stretch along the right side of the body. And then on your next inhale, press down with your left hand, allowing that right arm to stretch up to the earth, and then come back into our flat back tabletop position. We'll take that on the opposite side. So extend your right leg back, toe pointing down, and extending the left arm out. Coming to that bird dog, starting with the balance. And then on your next inhale, bring your knee into your nose, curling, stretching through the back body. Exhale as you open out and back, making sure your heel is pointed up and toes are pointing down. And then inhale as you're rounding. Exhale as you're expanding back. And then take those last 2 at your own pace here. If you feel more of a stretch needed as you expand, do that. Or if it feels like a stretch is needed with your inner curl, allow that time to be taken. And then when you're done, meet in our tabletop position. We'll extend on the inhale that left arm up, and then thread it on the exhale through the right armpit, allowing your cheek, your forehead to fall down onto the earth. And then like we did on that other side, take some time to send your attention to the top of your left foot. Your toes should be pointed, and then just press a little bit harder into the earth with that top left foot. Maybe you'll notice some micro shifts in the way and the place that the stretch is sent. Noticing your breath, keeping with that inhale and that exhale. And then allow your right arm to press into the earth as it opens, sending that left arm back up to the sky. Coming back into our tabletop position here. And then just sit back on your heels, roll out your wrist, maybe roll out your shoulders, your neck. And then place your hands out in front. Step your legs back, coming to a plank position here for this morning. Nice strong core engaged throughout the booty, your shoulders, your hands and your fingertips are pressing away. And then lifting your hips, sending your legs back and down, coming into our first downward facing dog of class. Have a nice bend in your knees, continuing to pedal out one leg at a time, stretching out through there. Sending your hips up and back. Feeling what it feels like in your downward dog today. Maybe you shake that tail like we did in bird dog. And then come to a point of stillness. Inhaling here as you allow the back and shoulders to extend. Exhale as you imagine sending that breath down over the legs into the heels. Do that once again. Inhale, sending breath up from the front body up into the inverted V and down as a roller coaster might come off of your booty over your back legs. And then on your next inhale, come up on your tippy toes and walk your fingers to the top, your toes to the top of the mat, allowing yourself to come to a forward fold, grabbing opposite elbows here, bending your knee, letting your head drop down to the earth, releasing throughout the neck. And then I want you to bend your knees a lot so that the palms of your hands can come flat on the mat. Maybe that means that you heel toe your feet out a little bit wider than hip width. And then I want you to place that left hand in front and in between your toes as you extend that right arm up to the sky. Nice strong lines here. Let me move back here. Nice job. Continue to send that breath. Maybe it's into your hips. Maybe it's into your shoulders. And then on your next exhale, allow your hand to drop down, placing both onto the earth. And imagine as if you're slowly starting to straighten your legs and tipping your pelvis forward. If it's a nice bowl, you're imagining that bowl of, marbles falling over the top of your head, the back of your neck. Just a little extension here. And then bend your knees a lot, place both hands down on the mat, bring that right one into the middle, and then extend the left arm up, overhead, stretching out through the shoulders. Breathing here. Inhale as you expand, imagine being lifted upwards by your fingertips. And exhale as you ground down through your feet, stabilizing. And then on your next inhale, allow your hands to come down to the earth. And then as you exhale, start to straighten your legs, tipping that pelvis forward. Imagine as if the backs of your Achilles heel are coming up and wrapping over the top of your head. Nice job. And then from here, just allow yourself to roll up one vertebrae at a time, slowly stacking them on top of each other, rolling your shoulders back, opening your hands, coming to our mountain pose, Tadasana. And let's inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale as we hinge at our hips, bending our knees, folding forward. Inhale as we rise to a halfway lift. Exhale as we plant our fingers, stepping that right foot back, lowering the knee and untucking the toe, walking our hands up to the inner left thigh, and then starting to find some movement here. If your knees are a little bit sensitive, feel free to grab a towel or a blanket and stick it right underneath here. Let me show you. So I have my blanket here, and I would just lay it long ways. And my right knee is on it, rocking back and forth. It's okay if we're going at a slow motion. Our knee can go over our ankle, but we want to make sure that we can see our toe at all points. And then that leg that is down, you want to make sure that you rock forward. So it's almost like the point of tension is on the beginning point right above the kneecap on that muscle, not directly facing down. And then let's rock back, allowing that front foot to flex upwards. Maybe you grab on to that front left toe and then rock forward, untucking that back toe, coming up into our low lunge, our tented fingers. And then on our inhale, let's rise up to our high lunge. Spin that right heel down as we open into our warrior two. Nice strong arms, firm foundation here, engaging through your core. And then let's inhale as we flip that front foot, coming to the long side of the mat, bringing our hands up in the air. And then exhale as we come back into our warrior two, looking forward. Inhale as we turn both toes to the side of the mat, arms overhead. Exhale as we come back into warrior two. Take that a couple more times at your own pace, noticing your alignment. Keep going, ladies. Nice. Inhale as you flip your toes to the side, arms overhead. Exhale as you settle back into that warrior two. And then let's take that to the other side. So let's meet along the long side of the mat. Both of our toes are facing parallel. And then turn that right toe out. And then come into a warrior two on the opposite leg here. So you can see I'm just facing the other way, allowing yourself to readjust if you need your stance to be a little bit wider, a little bit shorter. And then let's inhale as we bring that right foot over to the long edge of the body, arms overhead. Exhale as we turn it, sinking into the warrior two on an exhale. Inhale, rising up, overhead. Exhale as we come back. Inhale as we rise up. Exhale as we come down. Last one like this, come back to center, arms overhead, and then turn yourself back out to the front of your mat on the left side of the body. Allowing yourself to come down back through our low lunge, pressing into the earth, sending that left foot back into our downward facing dog. Breathing here on an inhale as it sweeps your hips up and back. Exhale as you ground down, working towards straight legs. Take another breath like that. Inhale, imagine that wind coming in through your hands up to your hips and then sliding off the back of your mountain. And then on your next inhale, come up to your tiptoes and walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale as we rise to a halfway lift. Exhale as we're folding forward, releasing our crown. And then inhale as we rise up overhead. Exhale as we bring our hands to heart center. Let's do that again. So let's inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, bending your knees, coming to our forward fold. Inhale as we rise to a halfway lift, a nice strong flat back. Exhale, planting our hands and stepping back with our left foot this time, untucking the toe, releasing ourselves down onto that knee, and then walking your hands up onto the right side. And we'll do that same little bit of movement here, inhaling as we come back and up, exhaling as we rock in a controlled way forward. Inhale as we rise up through the crown. Exhale as we stretch out through the front of that left leg. Whatever movement feels nice in your body today. And then bring yourself back so that you can straighten that front leg, flipping the toes. Maybe you can reach those right toes in the flex position, stretching through the back of that leg, sending breath to any points that might be a little bit tighter today. And then exhale as you allow that front foot to fall flat, untuck the back toe, come through our low lunge. Inhale as we rise up to our high lunge. And then exhale as we turn that back heel down and out, coming into our warrior two. We'll go through the same movement, inhaling, bring our hands up overhead, toes are parallel to the long edge of the mat. And then exhaling as we come back into our warrior two. We'll just do that a couple times on this side. And then the next time that we meet overhead, allow yourself to open, pointing through the left toe, coming to our warrior two on the left side now. You should be facing the back of your mat. Inhale, turn that toe parallel to the long edge. Exhale as we lower down, arms out. And next time you come to the top, allow yourself to stretch up and then turn that right toe out, allowing yourself to extend out to a warrior two on this side, working to turn yourself to the front of the mat, coming to our low lunge, pressing down into the earth, sending that right leg up and back to our downward facing dog, or maybe you'll come into a child's pose, stretching out through the back body, reconnecting with your breath. If it's a little bit warmer today or humid where you're at, feel free to grab a drink of water. I definitely am today. This would be a good point in the class to do so. And keep connecting with your breath. Nice. And from here, press up into the downward facing dog. If you were in child's pose, on your next inhale, come up onto your toes and then slowly walk or step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale for our flat back. Exhale as you fold forward, releasing your neck in top of crown. And then inhale as you bring your hands up overhead. Exhale as you come into prayer. Inhale this time up overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale for our halfway lift. Exhale as you plant your hands and just take that right foot back. Not a full step though. You can see I'm just about halfway down on my mat. And then slowly work to plant that heel down as well. And so we're gonna work to try to bring this front leg, which is a little bit bent, try to work to straighten it. So our fingertips are down on the earth. Our head is falling heavy over the left knee. And we're just doing little bends and straightens in that left leg. Should feel the stretch throughout the backside of those strong leg muscles. And then maybe you walk your hands onto your shin, coming to a flat back like this. Your hands are down, you have a nice flat back here, toes are facing forward. And then bring your hands onto your hips, bending that front knee once again, and tiptoeing that back leg in till it almost touches the front left heel. And then allow yourself to lift up. Coming to our capital letter T, our warrior 3. Really strengthening through that left leg that's holding you down to the earth. And then lowering back, bending that front leg as you release down. Straightening through that front leg. And then allowing yourself to straighten out your hips if they've tended to wander over. Straighten out the hips so they're facing forward. And then lower down once again. Coming into that flat back position. If you need, bend that front leg. And then allow that right leg to come to meet the left at the top of the mat. Inhale as we come to our halfway lift. Exhale as you forward fold. And then inhale as you bring your hands up overhead on your inhale. Exhale as you allow them to come to heart center. Do that on the other side. So inhale your hands up overhead. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale for our halfway lift. And then on our exhale, plant your hands and then take that little step back with the left foot. So your toes are down and then you're starting to allow that left heel to come back. And then you're just gonna have that micro bend in the front leg. You're bending. Here, let me move this arm so you can see. I'm bending and I'm straightening. Both of my toes are facing forward. Nice job. Just stretching out the back of the right leg here. And then maybe you'll take your hands to your shin, coming into that flat back on this side, working to allow both of your heels to find their place on the earth. And then, excuse me, bring your hands to your hips, bending that front knee and tiptoeing little hops of that left foot in till it's almost meeting your heel, and then tipping your front body forward as you lift up. Let me come back here a little bit. As you lift up with that left leg. The left toes are pointing down to the earth, imagining the inner thighs squeezing together, stabilizing you. And then bend that front leg, allow your back foot to come down. And then as both feet are facing forward, just take a check of your hips, turning them both to the front of the mat. And then on your next exhale, allow yourself to round down, touching the earth. And then on your next inhale, bend that right knee, bringing the left foot to meet it at the top of the mat. Inhale for our halfway lift. Exhale as we come forward and down. And then inhale as we bring our arms up overhead. Exhaling as we bring them to heart center. Let's take a couple breaths here. Maybe you would find some comfort in closing your eyes. Maybe a soft gaze out over your fingertips. Just reconnecting with that inhale, with that exhale. Nice. And at this point, we're going to come into a chair pose. So feel free to allow your feet to open about hip width apart if that's most comfortable for you. And I think I need to back up here so you can see me a little bit better. And then on your next inhale, allow yourself to sink back, arms up overhead, coming in to that nice and stable pose. You're coming back so much through your hips. It's almost as if your toes can come up off of the earth. And then start to come up onto the tiptoe of that right foot. And then maybe you cross that right foot over your left leg. So we're in a half eagle here. And then maybe you bring that left hand underneath your right arm, coming into a full eagle pose. So right knee is over left knee, right elbow is over left elbow. And then whoop, on your next inhale, release your arms out to the side. Inhale, bringing them up overhead, allowing your legs to come back into our chair pose. Inhale as we rise up. Give that a little shake here. And we'll take that for the other side. So whatever position felt good for your feet, do that on this side as well. As you inhale, arms up overhead, sinking back into that chair pose. Feeling the stability. And then come up onto the left tiptoes, slowly crossing that leg over, left over right. And then find that left hand, allow it to travel over the right arm, twisting together, coming into our eagle pose. Nice job. I see elbows and knees aligned, breathing here. And then on your next inhale, release your hands out to a T. Exhale as you press down into the earth, arms overhead. Exhale as you squat back into our chair pose. Inhale, bringing your hands down, standing up, allowing yourself to breathe. Nice job. So from here, we're going to work down onto the mat. So feel free to lower yourself into this position that I have here. The soles of my feet are down on the mat. My knees are kind of together, maybe one fist distance apart. My back is nice and strong. And all I'm gonna do is start to lift one foot, my left foot, lower it down. Inhale as I lift the other foot, lower it down. Inhale up, exhale down. It's a really small movement. You can see that I'm engaging through my core here. And continue like that. Whatever pace feels most comfortable to you. Inhale as I lift up my toe. Exhale as I lower it down. Same thing for the other side. Nice job. And then we're going to try this with both toes up. So really scoot in there, allow yourself to find the space of balance on your hips. And you're going to want to have your hands back, your fingers are facing your butt. And so just have a slight bend in your elbow and then start to lift one foot and then lift the other. Really starting to shake maybe. Continue to inhale, exhale, and lower down, coming up. Allowing the soles of your feet to come together. Let's take an inhale here as we lengthen through our chest and our chin. Exhale as we lead ourselves forward and down. Your elbows might allow themselves to rest on your inner thigh or your shin. Breathing here, feeling that stretch throughout the inner thighs, your hips. And then inhale as you allow yourself to sit back up. Bring your knees together. And we're going to try that double toe lift on both sides once again. So fingertips come in facing our booty. Have that slight bend in your elbows. Lift the opposite leg first this time, and then lift the other one. Engaging through the core. Imagine as your chest and chin are leading upwards and then lower down. Once again, bringing the soles of your feet together. Inhaling as you lengthen through your spine, and then exhale as you come forward And then eventually looking down into that sacred space, sending breath into the body. Then on your next inhale, allow yourself to come back up, helping your knees into your chest, and then lowering down onto your back. I have a little knot here on my shirt I'm going to untie for us. So bring those knees into your chest in this position. Start to roll them around, drawing those little circles on the ceiling. Take them in the opposite direction, exploring what that stretch in the lower back, that little massage feels like today. And then take your right leg down and out, keeping that left knee into your chest. And then start to extend your left arm out like a capital letter T, and start to guide that left knee towards the right side. So you're extending that stretch along through the back, through that shoulder blade. You can either keep your eyes open or start to close them as we're coming into the last few poses together. Inhaling here and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, grounding down. On your next inhale, allow your right hand to come to the inner left knee, rolling onto your back, bringing our knees into our chest once again, rocking back and forth. And then we're going to plant both of our feet down onto the earth, hands alongside the body. As we press down into the earth on the exhale, sending our hips up to the sky, coming into our bridge pose. As always, it's offered to you that you have a supported bridge, so you can stick one of your pieces of equipment underneath your sacrum. For those of us that are using our own body strength and weight to hold us, make sure that you're bringing your inner knees together, squeezing that beach ball, really lifting the heavy hips to the sky. And then exhale as you lower down onto the earth. And this time, let's extend that left leg out in front, nice and long. Bring that right knee into our chest, our right arm out at a T. And on the exhale, allow your left hand to guide your right knee over to the left side, sending our breath into the back body, up along the right shoulder as we take our stretch here. Continue to inhale and exhale. And then on our next inhale, allow that left arm to guide the right knee back into center, bringing that left leg up, both feet down on the earth. And then we're going to come up for our second bridge here. So those that want to have the support, feel free to grab it. And for everyone else, on your next inhale, press down into the earth, send those heavy hips to the sky. This time you might consider interlacing your hands beneath your booty. And then maybe you rock up a little bit higher, making a shelf with your shoulder blades, all the while engaging through the core, focusing on the inner thigh, bringing them together, and of course, the strong muscles in your booty. Breathing here. And then on your next inhale, allow your hands to release, slowly lowering down onto your back, bringing your knees into your chest. And let's grab the outside pinky toe edge of our feet, bringing one foot, then the other foot up, coming into our happy baby pose, stretching out throughout the hips, maybe taking one leg up, straightening it to the sky, and then rocking to the other side, stretching the other leg up. Do that if it feels good for you to keep some of the movement there. And then eventually we'll all meet in our traditional happy baby, that static pose, sending breath down into our hips. And allowing the soles of our feet to come together, our knees to come into our chest, lowering our feet down onto the floor. And we'll do one more bridge here together. So inhale as you send your hips up. Exhale, maybe you interlace your hands underneath your booty, making sure you continue to look straight up at the ceiling. Breathing here, engaging throughout the inner thighs. And then slowly lower down on your exhale, extending your legs out long, your arms overhead. And let's inhale here as we point our toes, extend through our fingertips. Exhale as we allow our feet to flex and our hands to relax. Do that once more. Inhale as you point your toes, extend through your fingertips, and exhale as you find your way into Shavasana. Eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Allowing your feet to fall outwards. Making sure that your ears and your shoulders have a nice bit of space in them. Your arms and hands are taking up the space that you deserve. And let's take a nice strong inhale through the nose together here. Exhale through your mouth. Do that once again. Inhale through our nose. Exhale through our mouth. Rest here. Allow yourself to reawaken, hearing the sound of my voice. And start to send some movement to your fingers, your toes, rolling out through your ankles and your wrists. Taking a couple nice strong inhales here. Exhaling through the mouth. And then when it feels comfortable for you, roll onto your right side, knees into your chest, coming through that fetal position. Pressing down into the earth with your top hand, allowing yourself to slowly come up, head and neck last to rise. Meeting in a comfortable seated position. Feel free to keep your eyes closed or reclose them once you're in that stable seated. Bring your hands to heart center. Gently bow your head down, releasing throughout the back of your neck, tucking your chin. Take an inhale here together. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. And bring your thumb knuckles up to that point of intuition, that third eye. Give yourself a little massage, saying thank you for joining the class today. And if you would like, feel free to join me on the inhale for Om. Let's inhale together. Om. Bowing forward to seal our time together. Thanking yourself, thanking the space that you've made, and inhaling as you rise up. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time.